This house is from 1953. So at that time, the issue is that sinks were a lot shallower, and people also didn't have those disposal units that help, blend up or grind your stuff before it goes down the drain. So all that stuff nowadays requires things to be a lot lower than it used to be. And because of that, we're running into an issue. So I've marked off on this wall where the top of the countertop is going to be, and our sink is going to be 10 inches deep. So 10 inches minus this is going to take us to here. And then on top of that, the problem is that our disposal unit needs about like 8 inches. So I've measured the distance from like the bottom of the sink to where the outlet is for the disposal unit. That'll be, right here area. And so the issue is that like the disposal unit will be putting out water below, or its wastewater below this pipe right here, this T. And so because of that, the issue is that it'll basically flood up to this height. And so your whole drain pipe for your sink is going to be full of the water you're trying to get down the drain and never actually leave. So it'll be bad. So basically what you need to do in these older style homes is lower this guy. And so currently this is about 20 inches high with that T right here. And what people do is they aim for between 12 and 16 inches. And so this is a very interesting setup for me. Most pipes these days are PVC, but this is using 1.5 inch thick internal diameter copper. And this is 1.5 inch thick internal diameter steel galvanized pipes. And so what my plan is to do is basically come in here with like a reciprocating saw, cut that. Hopefully I'm able to get away with just being able to loosen this thing. And then we're going to lower it so that we can fit in a much deeper sink and a much bigger disposal unit and still be able to get our waste going to a lower point down here instead of flooding basically up to this point, because it needs to do that. So that's the general idea. I'm gonna run to the hardware store and pick some stuff up for that. And this is the beautiful part. So pick this up at Home Depot, and basically this is 1.5 inch PVC, so it'll thread right in there. And I'll probably stick on some Teflon tape just to help reduce any chance of leaks. This is the dry vent, which is where the gases from the sewer are gonna go. And then the wet vent, I've been cleaning out the threads a little bit, is going to be here. And then the other part I got that is pretty slick. I'm not sure if it's up to code, but whatever, we'll see. I might end up just going with the PVC version, but this guy right here, so these are all just Jubilee clips on all these things. And so, yeah, we're gonna see how this thing looks. Cut, unscrew that. We got off the original T, and the trick to that was to basically use these bimetal blades. They were very cheap. This whole tool is like 20 bucks Harbor Freight, and then the blades are like another 10. And so the metal ones, if you use the general blades for these reciprocating saws, it takes forever and it won't cut it well. So using those metal blades, the copper is super soft, so that was easy. And then this galvanized pipe came off, and now I'm trying to get this unthreaded in here, and then we'll thread in ABS, so then we'll be good. All right, guys, so these steel threaded, they're 1.5 inch internal diameter pipes are really hard to get off, but finally did it. The tools I used was wet cloth, so this is still damp with water. I used WD-40, shooting it up into those threads. And then this is a wrench, a pipe wrench, so it's very specific. And so if you put it on just right, it grabs, even though there's no threads, it grabs onto this thing. And I used a little extension here and a bunch of torque, but it's enough to get those things to come free. So I'm gonna unscrew this the rest of the way, and this little heater thing right here is what I used to heat basically directly the fitting to get that to expand a little bit and to help, break apart that rust that's been holding these things together for the last 70 years. And so now that we've got all that, we're just gonna keep unscrewing this the rest of the way. Last few threads, this thing definitely put up a really good fight. And there it is. Now we've got our 1.5 inch PVC pipe, so that guy's gonna go. That's threading into there beautifully. I came in here and gave this thing a little bit of a cleaner, flatter cut so that we're gonna get a better seal on this thing. So we're still around our 12-inch mark, which is great. So we're gonna be right in between where we wanna be. And then hopefully we'll be able to get this thing all mounted up and ready to go. All right, so just got this transition piece on, and what makes it special again is just the fact that you've got a fat side, which is supposed to take up all that extra space that the copper pipe needs, and you've got the skinny side, which is where your PVC pipe's gonna come in here and sit in just like that. And so I'm going to now connect this guy, which is my T, to this. I'm going to also first cut off maybe like a 1 or 2 inch piece of this thing just to fill this gap and into that gap right there. So I'm gonna be right back. All right, there's the inner piece of PVC, 2 inches. So 1 inch to go into that fitting, and then 1 inch is gonna be to go into this guy like that. So I'm gonna try. All right, a little update here. So I ended up having this trap here with its opening a little above 16 inches, and that's a little too high for me still. So hopefully you guys are smarter than me. I ended up having to cut this an additional 4.5 inches down, but now I'm gonna put on my adapter onto the copper pipe, and then I've already got my PVC pipe cut in here, and then that PVC will go into here, and then hopefully that'll get my opening closer around 12 inches here for my actual drain. And then I've got the rest of the PVC pipe I need, so then we'll get this all back together, and then we'll throw some drywall over this and you'll never know what happened. I am about to apply the primer and the cement onto this valve or pipe that I just cut to length. And so basically, yeah, we're gonna add that purple stuff in there and around here. You do not add any cement around the rubber. And then once you got the primer, purple stuff on, then we'll go to the actual cement, and then we'll shove it up there, and then we'll tie this thing in place, and then we will now have successfully created a lower pipe. And then I'm also going to be putting on the fitting so we can get the P-trap installed on here too. All right, and here's the finished product. So 12 inches is here. Hopefully that's not too low. But yeah, and then there's our new PVC pipe installed. So looks like we are good to go here, and I hope this stuff's helpful, and thank you all for watching.